Okay. Okay, hello dear friends. Here I am at Stanford Museum, and here are some Chinese painting. I feel that I am much more, a little bit more comfortable and familiar with this art form. So those are the Chinese painting, quite typical Chinese painting style, and there are some very, very potential. These are all the very, very, very astronomically famous Chinese artists. So I spent some time just searching online and trying to understand the story of their life. And then I was thinking, gosh, their story, you check Wikipedia or local Baidupedia, and their life is so colorful. They have married many times and had some lawsuit and all those things. I used to just love this painting, and now with all this complicated matter, I almost could not enjoy as much. It's not because of their personal story, it's because sometimes you just need to look at what you are looking at. Too many things, it may not give you the right information, because too many information, it becomes confusing and you cannot know what is important and what is not. Do we need to know about the story of this person, his personal life? This is a great painting, and that is it. Well, of course, a personal story will tell a lot about the art style. This painting is by Liu Haishu. Liu Haishu is one of the few very national treasure level of Chinese artists, and he has been studied in Japan. I remember in Japan and in Europe, and had many exhibitions. And this is only one of his paintings, and it's kind of limited and not explain a lot about his style. He was very much fascinated by Huangshan, a very famous and beautiful mountain in China. And he went to Huangshan, Yellow Mountain, 10 times. At the age of 80 something, climbed the mountain and did the painting. And he said, Huangshan is such a magnificent mountain. I've been here so many times. Each time it is different. And even within one day, there are 10, 20 different scenes. I can spend my life painting, and there is just no end. And there is no end of fascination to fascinate me. To know an artist that spent so much time and so much passion in art is very empowering. So we can see this. It's this painting. Let's see the whole picture. It's only black and white, but you can see the layer, and there is a lot of white space. The water is white. waterfall is white, the tree trunk is white, the sky is white, but you get a feeling it's not white. It's the reflection of the sun, it's the mountain edge, it's the sunshine. It's this painting is a delicate and hard-working piece. There is not very much of his expression in his later age. The artist at his later age, his painting was much more expressive and much more gigantic and much more just exploding that feeling. I will try to find a painting of this, or I will find a link of his painting. He threw ink on the paper, and he was particularly famous for painting using the green color and blue color. Maybe this is the early age of his painting. But not knowing the person's story, I would say the artist at this particular time of painting this painting, he was calm, he was relaxed, he was diligent, he was delicate, and he dedicated his time, his patience, and he was relaxed, just did a piece of painting without any pressure. So he painted the tree, leaf by leaf, branch by branch, the mountain, and the person. It is dreamy, it's what do I say? Well controlled, well mannered, well maintained, a piece of painting. I don't know if it is right to use this kind of word for an artist painting, but you just feel calm and relaxed and enjoyment in doing a piece of work. There is no pressure, there is no stress. Do you feel so? Now, okay, now we take a look at the artist Liu Haisu. So this painting is in 1948 when he was a professor of an art academy. So at that time it was China's war period. It's not that it was China's war period. But the way he painted this scarlatti might be his way of getting away from politics, from the concurrent situation. Okay, now this one is another piece of painting. It's by another artist. His name is Zhang Daqian. He was also one of the most famous. His painting was huge and gigantic, and his life experience was quite legendary. He was arrested for some, I don't know, for some artistic reason or something. Anyway, he experienced quite a turbulent life, and he became a monk, and he went to Dunhuang, the very far west place without much material condition, and he painted and copied the wall painting, and he lived in Argentina, I think. Anyway, let's not talk about too much about his story, but look at his art style. He is a person, an artist of passion, and very exaggerating, very artistic, very expressive. So even from this painting, you can see his style is just so free, so sharp, and so rigid, and so wild. And this one is not one of his most wildest paintings, but still we can see the character of himself. Let's take a look here. 张大千. So he did painting just for fun, just for fun. You can see him having fun. It's like we do our hobby. Each of us have some hobby, and we do not take the hobby too serious, and we put in some color. We did this and that, have fun with the painting, and he did exactly the same thing. And the rock is not accurate, is very freehand, but at the end is more accurate than accurate, because there is its own spirit and there is its own life of it. It's just a piece of rock. Let it be a piece of rock. And the flower is clustered here and there. And the balance is naturally balanced. He didn't pay too much attention, because if you pay too much attention, it becomes too much pretentious and manipulated. There is not much manipulation. He did naturally let his imagination and let his freedom, let his creative juice flow out, not in a rush, not in any pressure, just did it. But his character is there. You can see this sharp, wild, explosive character, and just a big guy. And his body shape is also a tall, big guy. Okay, now we come to this piece of painting. And this one is by Feng Zikai. Is early age Chinese cartoon painting. 贫女如花只敬之. So a poor girl is like is as pretty as a flower, but only the mirror knows it. And you see this kind of painting, it's so soft, so cozy, so warm. 贫女如花只敬之. So a poor girl is like is as pretty as a flower, but only the mirror knows it. And you see this kind of painting, it's so soft, so cozy, so warm. And you can imagine the artist is not in a rush, wearing a comfy clothes, elegant and comfy, and walk slowly, talk slowly, and never get into a rush. And this painting, this kind of painting, just make you feel comfortable, make you feel so soft, so tender, touches you. I very much like his style of painting because I like all of their style of painting, but there is something so beautiful, so comfortable, and so calming and so comforting in this painting that just warms your heart. And you want to do it. You want to rewind yourself after a long, stressful working day, and sit in front of your table and do some drawing and say some very simple and very true and very humble poetry. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. This is by Zheng Chang. Such a delicate piece of work, small and very, very well worked out with it's a combination of gongbi and simultaneous, simultaneous style. And this one. So Chinese painting is from further away, you cannot see much detail, but it is like very much like a poetry, like misty. And this painting is so misty, so foggy, and so mysterious. And to make the mountain looks it is right now, it takes the whole lifetime to practice just one simple stroke. It is the exercise of a lifetime. I think there must be something about the cultural background. I look at it, I feel so touched. I feel there is a dialogue, there is a communication in it, and there is an unspeakable appreciation that I cannot explain. I just feel, oh, this is right. And look at this mountain. I guess he crinkled this paper, and the technique is quite interesting. It looks simple and small, but there is so much more behind. A tiny bit of blue, a tiny bit of color. There is a lot of things behind it. These are the wood blocks that my parents' time, or even older than my parents' generation's artist. I think one generation older than my parents. I grew up seeing a lot of this, and it brought back my childhood. I remember one time we drove to Inner Mongolia, a place, and we look at the map. At that time there was no GPS. Around 30 years ago or 20 years ago, we drove around and lost our way and could not find. And then we went into a mountain valley, and it was harvest time, around October, autumn time, and people were harvesting and put the grains on the floor and throw to the air as a way of blowing separating the wheat, and it was gold, the golden harvest, and mountain valley, and some horse, some cart, and people walking. It was the most beautiful scene, and it was very, very much like this. But there were more mountains, not. But this painting really brought back my memory for that most beautiful moment. I enjoy this painting. I think it's time for me to go back home to pick up my brush, or at least to do something that is important for me. Well, everything is important to me, but it's time that we start to work with our hands, not only use our mouths.